to the Audi Project. My name is Jay, and today we will be learning how to draw a girl, starting with the head. So let's begin. First, with any head, we have to start off with a big circle. And this circle is drawn very lightly, very lightly. We're just giving ourselves a plan for details later on. So I have my head here, a very light circle, and this girl right now, I don't want her to look straight on. I want her to have a 3/4 view. I want her looking off to her right a little bit. So I'm going to place a marking for the center of her face, which would be down her forehead, down her nose, down the middle of her face. Her middle of her face is going to be right off to the side, right about there. Okay. Also, I want to mark off where her eyes are. So after I have marked the center of her face, I'm going to draw a line. This is about halfway down the circle. Now I want to go a little bit lower than halfway below the circle. Just a little bit. That's going to be where her eyes are. Alright. Next, I want to find out where her chin is. Now, depending on what kind of character you're trying to draw, the proportions are going to change a little, but since this is going to be a young girl, then her chin is going to be a little bit more shallower, so her forehead is actually going to be proportionately bigger than the rest of her face. You'll see why. I mean, this is just a cartoon, so it's not photorealistic whatsoever. It's just a representation communicating the idea that she's young. Now that I've gone on way too long, now I'm going to mark where her cheeks are. So if these are her eyes and these are the center of her eyes, I kind of want the cheek to sort of be right there. I think that's where I want the cheek. Big cheeks. Same thing on the other side, but since she's looking off to the side, this cheek is actually going to be a little bit skinnier. You see how this one is a little bit more round and this one is a little bit skinnier, but still the same height. We're going to be following that sort of plan throughout the rest of this because her face is at an angle and we have to do things to one part of the face that we have to change on the other side. So you'll see in a second. So alright, I have my eyes, my nose, my chin, her cheeks. Now I want to mark off her ear. Now it's important to remember that the ear always starts right at the height of the eyes. So we go a little bit past the cheek, start our ear right here, and just have a little ear like that. Okay, so it looks like we kind of have this weird looky, kind of looks like a clown without a mouth or anything. That's kind of weird, but now we can actually start filling in some details. So we have enough information here to start going a little bit harder. Go a little bit harder into the drawing to flesh out those details. So now I'm going to use the curve, the natural curve of the marks that I made. I'm just going to follow that. Instead of tracing it fully, I'm just gonna guide the line around into the next part. So I now got to the chin. Whew, sweet. Now to connect the jawline. So I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of follow that curve, not quite touching this, but now I'm just kind of going right below it. So now I have connected the ear to the chin using the jaw. Alright. Now, sorry, I have a little bit of cold. Now I want to start marking off where her nose is. So we established that this is where her eyes are. Actually, let's do that. Let's go mark off where her eyes are. So this is my center, the center of her eye. Excuse me. I'm just gonna draw a circle. Basic shapes. Now I'm going to go off to the other side. Same technique, the same height of her other eye, but then it's going to be a little bit skinnier because she's at an angle. She's at an angle. Huh? She looks so surprised. Don't worry. Once you get used to this, it will just flow out of you. But for right now, we're just learning how to do this, okay? So that's her eye. Her eye socket, actually. Her eye is going to come in a little bit later. I'm going to kind of go up on the top of her right eye. I'm going to start there, and I'm actually going to follow. You see how I'm following the curve of her eye. I'm just going to come down right there. Come down right there. And then I'm just going to bring it in. That's her nose. That's her nose right there. All right. So now that I have this established, this curve of the nose, that's actually going to lead into her eyebrow. So now we can just finish off, continue this curve to make her eyebrow. And to make her eyebrow, we just make a curve. Just make a curve. Just like that. You know, look at a mirror when you're drawing faces, because your face will tell you a lot about how to draw other faces. So we're gonna draw the other eyebrow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one curve like that. I'm gonna do another curve, and then I'm gonna connect the two. There you go. There. See, you know what? I don't like that curve. And this is why we draw lightly, so that we can erase, and then we can just do it again. Because we're just planning. This is still just the planning phase. There you go. Cool, cool. Alright, so now I think we have enough to draw those details. So starting with her eyebrows, let's go in and darken those eyebrows in there a little bit. Darken the eyebrows. Okay. And then I don't want to completely darken the nose. I actually want, because I want the nose to be a little bit more delicate, I'm just going to darken towards the middle of the nose, and that's it. Maybe just a little bit right there for her nostril. Sorry. There you go. Now her eyes. We kind of want her to be relaxed. So we were going to draw a curve from right here, from this side of her eye, to the other side, opposite the line that we drew, and we connect those just like that. Just like that. Same thing on this side. We're going to go below the line on one side of the eye, same distance above the line, but on the opposite side, and we make a curve. There you go. From here we can do some eyelashes, just to mark some eyelashes. That's not going to be final. We can always go back when we do our inks and change the shape or thickness or thinness of these parts, which I will show you in a bit. So now that we have her eyes, of course she needs her pupil. So or the actual eyeball. What's the colored part? Iris? Iris isn't iris? Or is it the colored part of the eye? So since if we wanted her to look off in the direction that she's looking, we'd actually move her eyeball a little bit off center. And if we were to do that, she's not looking at us, but we want her to look at us. So what I'm going to do is actually go to the center of my eyeball and go a little bit off to the side. Oh, sorry. A little bit off to the side, just like that. And same thing on this. Make it a little bit skinnier because we're looking at an angle. Alright, so now we have her eyes. Now to draw her mouth. So maybe want to give her like a little smile, and you see these construction lines that we made for the cheeks, those are actually going to come in handy. We're going to mark off a point and then go all the way around to the other circle, and mark off a point there. And you see how those have sort of told us where her mouth is going to end, and what we're going to do is just going to draw a smile. Just a smile to connect the two. And that can be anything that you want. It can be really big, really small. When you get into cartooning, you can exaggerate things however you want. Depends on how you want the character to look. But right now, we just want a simple girl. All right. So now to finish off the mouth, that indent at the top of your lip, we throw that in there. So that's the top of her lip. And the bottom of the lip is not as long, but it is a little bit thicker. At least for our character, it's going to be a little bit thicker. Okay. Sweet, sheepy, sweet. I'm just filling in some more of these. So at this point, we have pretty much a bald girl. Maybe mark off details in the ear. Maybe let's mark out her neck. All right, sweet. I'm not a fan of how I drew this, so I'm just actually going to go back and erase, because we can do that in this planning phase, remember? We can do this in our planning phase. And same thing. And, and also this guide is also helping me when I'm doing, when I'm drawing symmetrical shapes, meaning that both sides are equal, in that she has two eyes, a lip that if you were to fold it in half, it would be the same shape. She has two cheeks, so that's where it helps us out. All right, sweet. Now is the fun part. We can start doing details of her head, more details. So let's say I want to give her hair that just a nice swoop like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna bring it back up. Ooh, just like that. And that's one strand of her hair, but the rest of her hair is still sort of like, it's still grouped together. So I'm just gonna do the same motion, but over here. It's good to know where you're going to end up. So I'm going to end up right here. I'm starting right here and right here. Start right here and bring it together just like that. Okay. Need a little bit longer. And same thing. This is I'm saying that this right here is the part of her hair where her hair is parted. So since all of this is going this way, this is the part where it goes the other way. So I'm probably going to mark it out right here. Start right here and right here. Start right here and right here and connect. You'll get used to these techniques. That's just a muscle memory, just a trained muscle just from drawing all these curves. So over time, you'll get better at that. So now I have her bangs. Now I want to give her a headband, let's say. So I will start at the top of her head. Same thing. Start right here and right there. I think I want to end right there. Start right there and right there. And big sweeping curve as we've been doing for a second. And same thing, because her headband is a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna start back up again up here, because why I'm not going all the way is because it's going behind her head, and that's what happens when things are at an angle. They tend to have a vanishing point. So I'm gonna start right here and right here, start right here and bring it down. Sweet. That's not exactly perfect, but we can fix that later on when we ink. Now it's just to finish up the rest of the details, since this start right here and this is the end, or I'm sorry, this is the start and this is the end. I always like going from top to bottom, not bottom to top. It's just the way my shoulder moves, and you might have the same experience or you might have the complete opposite experience, but I'm going to start from up here and there you go. See, now that she has hair, and I know her hair is kind of going over her eyebrow. That's okay. This is just the planning phase, okay? And maybe her hair has, it's a little bit wavy, so, alright. And I'm going to finish off the other side of her hair. Sweet, sheepy, sweet. Okay, so now we have the head of a girl. Maybe I'll add this little detail right here just to show her neck. You know what? That's like too intense. Always remember, the more lines, the more intense it is. Cannot stress that enough. You can make something as delicate look like super grungy and super hardcore. So, but for right now, we just want a delicate, very nice, gentle image. All right, so that's her neck, and maybe I'm just going to the idea of a shirt. But we can get into that later. So there you